Welcome back, everyone, to Pinetopia, where today we will have to work on the one piece that is completely missing in our pro shop here, and that is the roof. But exactly what type of roof we're going to have is I'm not quite sure yet. But one of the ideas I have is that we could have the first tee on top of the roof and sort of use that in order to start off the game. But first, I need to know the characteristics of the various things that we'll be using in the game before we could decide whether or not we're going to actually do that scheme. Now, before we go any further, I'm going to head on down and find out if anything is spawned inside of that sulfur cavern we have, because I'd like to get some sulfur cubes if at all possible. Well, something spawned down around here, but unfortunately it is not a sulfur cube. Sounds like a zombie. Oh well. I attempted to do some mining in hopes of getting some more iron, but nothing happened there. But during that time, I heard a sound, and it looks like we have our first sulfur cube. All right. Sort of stops bouncing around once you do that. All right, what did I put in there? It looks like I put a piece of granite in there. All right. Now, one of the problems is I need to, in order to carry these around and move them to other places, you need a bucket. And unfortunately, I don't have any buckets around. Now, I think that once they have a cube in them, they can't despawn. So that's the reason I'm putting them in. I think that's how it works. I guess we're going to find out if I leave and suddenly just see a couple of granite blocks sitting there out of nowhere. And then that means that that assumption is wrong. But the idea here is to see if I get a couple of these, if I get some buckets so I could bring them upstairs, and then we can work with them and see what we could do for our little game there. Now, actually, how does... Because if I punch one of these, it doesn't go very far, but... Oops. Obviously a... Hmm, oh, okay, I do have some shears on me. All right, good. Because I believe shears are what you need in order to remove the... And then it goes around bouncing again. Have any other types of... I should bring other types of blocks. It looks like I have only stony... I think all the stony blocks act the same way. Alright, so if I do this... Because I think things will go... Because obviously that's not going to be suitable for a golf course. Now, let me see if I get some dirt. I think I saw some dirt in the mine where I was trying to find iron. Nope, but I do have some in this chest that I happen to have nearby, so we will go with that. We take on the chest. Anything else here that is of interest? Oh, I also have some wood here. See if that makes things any different. So actually, I think if I just put this into here, the old block here comes out. All right. Because this is with dirt. It seems to be a little bit more. Okay, let me compare that to what happened here. Yeah. So the one with the dirt does a lot more. If I put the dirt one in there. Okay. And now if I put the wood one in there, let's see what happens. Oh, yeah! That's what I'll need from a golf game. All right. Okay, that should give us some interesting results. So I think that will work, but first I need iron. I found a cave while running through here, and I'm hearing zombies. Well, I don't think I need to go down there, but while I'm hearing zombies, I don't actually see said zombies. I definitely don't want to go down there. It looks scary. So where are those zombies hiding? I know. Just do a little bit more mining. I'll either find some iron, find another opening, find some zombies, find a creeper that blows up in my face. All sorts of things I could find. It's getting louder. Oh, hold on. Ah! Oh, hold on. How'd you get there? Really? Obviously, I missed something there. Because that zombie flanked me somehow. So where did it come from? Looks like the zombie died. Did we kill each other? Okay. Well, that was strange. Let's see. Where are my torches? Where are my shield? Which didn't do me much good in that situation. So, oh, yeah. Probably right on top of there or something like that. And just popped up behind me. Okay. Oh, there's a ledge there. All right, all sorts of nasty things that could have happened in that situation. All right, fine. Well, I was going to say could have been worse. It could have been a creeper, but being a zombie was bad enough. All right. Now, is there any iron anywhere around here? Yes, there is. Make sure nothing sneaks up behind me. I mean, well, the zombies are polite enough to make noises. Probably so they could set up their traps like that. Oops. Let me get some iron. Then I can make some buckets. Maybe make some iron gear. Actually, I just thought of something. I've got no armor right now, and while copper armor is probably not going to be in the list of top items one needs, it will be helpful, and I'm in a sulfur cave again. I managed to collect 15 iron during that little expedition. So I'll make this. Get a new pickaxe. make a pair of buckets, and I should then be set and be able to bring the cubes up here where we can start our experiments to find out exactly how they act, how far I can hit them and whatever, so that we can determine, is a golf course really feasible? Or if not a golf course, maybe a putt-putt station. Now, with a full suit of copper armor and 2 buckets plus a new iron pickaxe, I think it is time for us to return here and to pick up our, let's take the shears to that, and there we go. We have a bucket of sulfur cube. Good. And now let's take care of the other one. Hello. Good. We are going to go upstairs. Hold on. There's a third one here. All right. Oh, excuse me. I need to make another bucket. Actually, just in case. Where are you at? Oh, there you are. Here, hold on to that for a moment. And so this means that now we have, oops, 3 cubes in buckets. Okay, that was an interesting. Is that a debuff you get when you're in this water or something? All right. Not too sure what that is all about. Nausea. Okay. Perhaps I shouldn't go around playing with that. Now that we're back topside, it's time to do a little testing, right? There's our first cube. Now let's see, do we have any? Here. All right. We'll start out with, all right, so that would be a dirt block. This could be a stone block, in that case diorite. Let me grab some wood. Now I guess it would be appropriate if I had an iron block, and I know I don't have enough iron to spare to do something like that. Then we could, let's see, how about, okay. But if we could have, we could have wood and iron, woods and irons. I mean, that's legitimate golf terminology. Somehow I don't think that's going to work all that well. All right, let's, especially which most likely the rules will be that you use the same block all the way through. Now, let's see. Now, if I hit this, not bad. I just hit it into the hazard. Oh, well. Okay, I have 2 of them now. All right. Oh. Obviously, I can hit it at some significant distance, but I hit that thing all the way down there. I'm going to do some distance testings, preferably in a safer environment for my cues, because if you hit it too far, you're in trouble. I've created a little test range where I could see how far I can hit our balls here. Now, let's get an oak plank plus. So we'll do this. Put an oak plank right here and see how far we could drive this with a copper pickaxe. Okay, let's try with the copper axe and see how far we can hit this. Now I put the cobble blocks at 20 block intervals. So well, that's hard to measure considering it's pretty close to 40 blocks away, but it hit this point right here and bounced back. Not exactly a desirable thing to happen to a golf ball. I'm sure such things have happened in the past, much to the dismay of whoever hit the ball, but I would think that in regular golf that is a rather rare event. Now, what happens if I use cobble? Uh, okay, well, it moves like stone. I suppose that should be expected. So let's try wood again. Oh, what happens if I just punch it with another block? Okay, that doesn't go very. Goes about 20 feet or meters, I should say. All right, let's try this one more time. Oh, oh, so if I pick it up in a bucket with a particular block in it, then putting it back down, it will have the same. All right, that'll make things a whole lot easier. All right, good. Maybe I should make a pinball game instead. Oh well, I presume I'd just call this the hazard and have a drop spot if you knock it into the hazard. You come up here and you re-hit it from there with a stroke penalty, of course. Now it'd be nice to have actually, how does the bucket of sulfur cube contains oak planks? Okay, it says in here what it contains. All right, so if we do it with the dirt block, it goes about 20 meters. Yeah, it didn't even quite reach that. So therefore, I would say that the wood is by far the best. I would probably have to check other substances, of course, but it looks like wood is the bounciest. Of course, it does have a tendency of going a little bit out of control. Uh, what is it hitting down here that's knocking it back? Is it this, in which case, or is it one of these? Well, I was hoping to use these as markers, but obviously that's not going to work. Fortunately, I did take the precaution. Oops. I did take the precaution of putting this at exactly block 100. Now, it's decrementing going in this direction, but a little subtraction should take care. All right, so It looks like it'll need to be a little bit flatter than, okay, this is around 66. It must be the angle in which it's hitting this or something that's causing it to go, oh, okay. Oh, I thought it was an invasion of pillagers. No, 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 it's just a trader. Hello? Ooh, what do you got today? Baked taters? A water bucket for 2 emeralds. Now, I don't have any emeralds, unfortunately, but... Oh, well, arranging to get a water bucket would be pretty easy, but I could get 2 emeralds if there were anything I needed desperately enough. Cyan dye. Well, as much as I love my cyan dye, I'm not going to trade in a bucket for that. A dark oak sapling. Yeah, but 1 dark oak sapling is worthless. And it's 5. That means in order to make a dark oak tree, you'll need 20 emeralds. That's a bit much. Wildflowers, spruce, I can make enough. Jungle log, well, jungle sapling would be more useful, but I'm sure they'll charge me 5 for that anyway. So, I'm sorry, I don't have any baked taters on me. Now, as for you, it looks like that no matter what I do, okay, we're about 87. 4! At least that time it actually went into the same contiguous direction. That's good news. All right, it looks like so far things are feasible. And one could probably make a course using this. One just has to make sure that there aren't any places chickens. Well, that's going to be useful. And we can get some eggs for our pumpkin pies. One of the plans I have is maybe collect these chickens and bring over some of them. And I'll probably have to fill in this area right here. I really don't want to have too many cases where it's going to be too easy for it. First of all, I think it might turn to a creeper nest. Let's see. So that's about 80 here. Now we're at minus 29. That's a good 100. All right. I think that gives us some preliminary numbers at least. But designing the holes is going to be a real interesting venture. Earlier, I said that I was considering having the roof structured so that I could use it as a location for the first tee. Now, one of the things they could do perhaps is to have the ball kicked over the river, and that could be the first hole down in that direction. Where exactly the pin will be or anything like that, I don't know yet. But I think we're going to need to test that now. It looks like we have the basics all set. So let's see. Can I... let's just put this here. I know it's not a proper roof yet. The idea here is just for me to do a quick test to see, can I hit it across the river from here? So let's plop this right over here. That thing's looking very nervous, isn't it? It's right over the edge there. All right, let's see. Now, let me go here, and if I come and do this, how far does it... No, unfortunately, we've got that hill there right away, which is probably going to make this rather difficult to work. While I didn't consider that possibility, I probably should have, considering what happened during the test earlier. Alright, so that means that I can easily hit it across the river from on top of here. It's just that that hill makes it a very impractical thing to do. Fortunately, that one has a wood core in it, because wood core sulfur cubes float. Well, let me just grab it. I'd be happy that I didn't lose another one. Now, well, I was not considering the possibility when I made this marker right over here. The entire idea was that it would be visible, but it looks like that it could be used as a teeing off spot also, instead of just a roof. And even better, it almost looks like a golf tee. So what if I put this here? Hit it across. Will this make it across? Most likely it's going to bounce back, but let's have a look. Well, that went a nice distance. So I'm at 563, 124. It looks like the trader is volunteering to be a spotter for me. All right, so now what do you have here? This is all right. This is a 562, 124. So this landed at 562, 530. So that went 30 in one direction and 125, 65. So that's 60 in the other. So 30 and 60. Okay, not bad. Not quite 70 blocks, but the total flight time was more than that, considering that it bounced off the back of a hill and then came back. So I think one of the biggest challenges is making a course where if you hit it in the right direction, it doesn't come back to you or anything like that. But if you do go in the wrong way, it may play some games on you. Now let's try this with some different materials. Instead of wood, which we found to be very, very bouncy, what about a pumpkin? And no bounce. It travels a bit. It won't go over the hills or anything like that. That's sort of the difference there. So this one went 45, which isn't too bad. Now, what about wool? Let's try this with a wool block. Where, okay, there's our pumpkin. Just take a piece of wool, stick it inside. I think this is our last test that we're going to have. Really? Well, that is definitely not going to cut it. So it looks like oh well, we have to avoid interference. But it looks like our winner for interest is going to be the wood combination. So with that done, I now have to get some more. Oops. And so I'll need to get a few more of these blocks. I'll also need to work on the roof up here still with the possibility that we use it to hit across. So I think turning my marker there into a TV, because originally it was just put there so that I can see where it was, so it'd be harder for me to get lost, because otherwise it's pretty easy for me to get lost. But incorporating it into an actual part of the build is probably going to help things quite a bit. I'd probably change this from cobble or anything like this into it. So maybe polished diorite and whatever nice block I have that has a stair version of it. But I think that's it for today. I think it was quite a productive one, where we have managed to do our first test with sulfur cubes. Managed to get a little bit of iron here, so that I'm now a little bit better equipped. So I could still use quite a bit more. And anything else? No. Well, not much progress on the Pro Shop, but I think that working on that seriously will have to wait until I'm pretty much settled on what I want to do. So next episode, I need to start thinking of actual course design. Ooh, that sounds daunting. So it'll probably take quite a few episodes to do that, and we'll see what we do in the next episode of Piney Plays Minecraft Pinetopia.